You know, momentous, amazing, glorious. I can't think of the word. I can't think of the verb. This might just be the best podcast you ever heard. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, I don't want to be offensive, children and babies. This is episode 27. This is the E.B.C.G. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. For real, for real. Because I really started podding in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, in the projects and all that. But we're not going to talk about how I had to figure out how to navigate, you know what I'm saying, through them buildings, through them hallways. I had to go to the incinerator at 11 p.m. Not really sure if I was going to make it back to finish watching that episode of the Rugrats. You understand? What I'm saying is this. And then still had the wherewithal to figure out and how to navigate through the cassette tape era. I was the cassette tape baby. I was potting on cassette tapes, but we're not going to talk about it. We're going to save that. We're going to save that for the book, for real. Because the E.B.C.G book is definitely, I know y'all hear them pages in the background, fam. I already got it started. 420 is upon us. Hence the title of this episode, Kush and Corinthians, which I feel like was very fitting. For several reasons, I really stole it from Kendrick, right? Let's just get to it, right? I'm not about to sit here and tell and cap. Definitely took that from Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, the GOAT, Section 80, classic mixtape, and that's definitely, the title of a song that's on that mixtape. And I mean, after this episode, if you have more time left on your schedule, you go ahead and bump that real quick. I'm not trying to I want to politic y'all out in this episode. I don't want to be too political. I don't want a nice, short, concise episode, right? Fun episode. I mean, unfortunately, yeah. I'm taking again at the docket as I'm saying that, and we definitely have a few unfortunate things that we do have to get to, but no need to procrastinate. It is 56 degrees currently. And that only means one thing, and one thing only. Yeah. The summer is upon us. No need to panic. Keep it organic. Essentia. Overachieving. H2O. It is the purest, the cleanest, the finest, most filtered. I went to the factory. I watched them do it. I seen it firsthand. They take every drop of the water that's in the bottle and they purify this thing. I mean, this is the most amazing, most purified, cleanest water. And I mean, like I said, the summer's approaching. Listen, we got a couple 80-degree days in the spring. You feel me? We got some 80-degree days in March, fam. We ain't get snow and we was getting 80 degrees. All I'm saying is this: the heat waves is coming. Yeah, I know the heat waves is coming. Essentially, overachieving H2O. I got a bad case of writer's block. Nothing sounds right. Everything I write down ain't tight. But I'm trying to write a pod every night to shed light on the fight that my people go through and offer my insights. All right, man. Listen. You could have been anywhere else, on this platform, on this thing that we call the internet. This AI controlled, disgusting cesspool that we call the internet, fam. Conspiracies, misinformation, lies. I mean, the truth, but nobody runs to the truth. I know that, how do I feel about 420 at this point in my life as a grown ass man and shit? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't appreciate the flower, right? I mean, I'm a connoisseur, right? I'm not even sure if I said that right. Is it connoisseur or connoisseurer? I don't give a fuck. I don't play that shit. Nothing to bust a pod or that they go. Yeah. 420. You already know what it is. Episode 27. Kush and Corinthians. Come on, man. Y'all see what I did there. I just felt like, I wanted to kind of be all inclusive. I didn't want to be, I didn't want to exclude any community. So I just felt like, yeah, I'm a connoisseur of the flower. Ever since they legalized marijuana, I'm in New York City. In New York City, it's kind of weird, just seeing the amount of smoke shops, and you go into the corner store, they got, bro. I went into the corner store literally for a bacon, egg, and cheese, man. A turkey bacon, egg, and cheese. Let me be clear. No pork on my fork. The Ock was trying to sell me an egg, fam. I'm not even joking. He had a whole spread in front in a glass. They got bulletproof glass, different strains of marijuana. I'm just saying, man, 420 is cool, but I'm not sure how I feel about 420 in the black community. And what I'm saying is this: are there too many smoke shops at this point? Am I off for feeling like, I don't know, man? Then they have the nerve. Then they keep these shits lit up, right? So it's kind of like you can't miss it. It's more lights on the smoke shops than they got lights in certain countries, fam. There's certain countries that's suffering from outages, all type of shit, fam. Every smoke shop is lit up. I want to make this I want serious shout out on this episode. I feel like it's so much negativity going on. It's important for me to, come on here and, yeah, I wanna definitely, give y'all the current events in real time. you know, I'm a podder. I'm a podcaster, right? I wanna do a podcast, and I wanna touch on all of the current events, but at the same time, man, at this point, I just feel like, can we just get a break? We need a break from all serious news. All the breaking news. If there's breaking news, don't break it. Okay? Stop breaking news. Everybody need to just chill out, you know what I'm saying? Roll one. Hold on, man. Cause yeah, I know what's going on, man. I see the title of the episode, man. It's 420. The episode is out. Episode 27. You know, y'all know what I'm about. Peace, love, and light. We gonna get to, let me get to the docket now. Cause I was freestyling, I ain't even really look at the docket yet, you feel me? Man. So, off top, off top, I wanna get to, you know, one of the current stories that's currently circulating on the internet. It's probably the top story right now. 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, you know, who's currently at home, fortunately, recovering from an unfortunate incident that occurred. This young brother was shot twice. Once in the head, just above his left eye. Wow. And then the second shot in the arm. Man, it's just kind of like, it's just one of them situations right here, that you kind of just gotta like, I don't know, man. It is kind of just like, man, the sign of the times. Everybody's scared. Everybody's scared. Everybody's afraid. Everybody is on edge. This young brother went to this man's house, mistakenly. You know, he was attempting to pick up his two younger brothers. He rang this man's bell. Now this is the whole thing. He went up and rang the doorbell at this man's house. This man was armed inside of the home. It was an 84-year-old white male, which I do feel like is noteworthy. He was afraid for his life, because a 16-year-old, came and rang his doorbell. Now, listen, there's so many different ways that, obviously this can play out. Again, it's going to really just come down to the gun laws. I'm not really aware of what the gun laws are in Missouri. I'm not really familiar or aware of what the gun laws are anywhere at this point. I just feel like it seems like they kind of just pick and choose, when they want to, basically serve justice, and it's really just truly unfortunate. I can remember a while back, a woman by the name of Marissa Alexander. Just another example of just basically how backwards the gun laws can be in certain states. I believe this took place in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the whole situation there was, this woman had an abusive, boyfriend who basically was physically threatening to her and, her child at the time, who was only a few days or months old, I believe, a newborn baby. Uh, in self-defense, this woman fired warning shots at the wall. I'm not really sure. She may have fired it in his direction. I'm not really 100% sure what the case may be. But the point of it, the whole point is she didn't strike this man any bullets. Marissa Alexander fired warning shots to protect her and her newborn baby from an abusive boyfriend, who was basically proven to be abusive, right? He was known to be an abuser, and they still ended up giving this woman time in prison. Now, you gotta ask yourself here, who are these gun laws in place to protect, because this man, this 84-year-old white man, who's probably pretty familiar with, all of these cases that we've been seeing over the years as it pertains to, um, just the imbalance in the justice system as it plays out, for people of color, in most cases. And I feel like I'm trying to be way too like, let me just get to the shits, man. He shot this kid, bro, for ringing his bell. And at the end of the day, man, you gotta ask yourself this: is ringing a doorbell really, the cause for threats? Is that really something that's so uncommon these days? I mean, you figure we got Uber and there's all types of people going up to people's houses, ringing people's bells for different reasons. So for this man's first reaction, basically to be a gunshot to the head, I think that speaks volumes about, how far we've actually come in this country as it pertains to race. The recovery that's currently taking place. They currently have, this young brother was able to go back home, which is great. He's on the road to recovery, which is great. Too often we see these situations play out and we don't see the recovery, right? So that's the fortunate thing here, and there were charges. Hold on. They definitely charged this white man. Uh I have his name. I'm just not gonna say it because I just feel like, man, I don't want to say his name on my platform, man. Like realistically, I actually didn't write his name down. Andrew Lester. Okay, so Andrew Lester is currently, being, charged with two felonies. Assault in the first degree and armed criminal action. Obviously these are only charges. Ultimately a conviction, is basically justice. In this situation, to me, I just feel like, yeah, okay, you were at home, so I guess there's gonna be a segment of people who may agree with what he did. But I don't, and to a certain degree, I may agree with the notion. Not what he did in this situation. I feel like personally, if somebody rings your bell, you have the option to basically, retreat, right? If you know you're armed, and if somebody's ringing your bell, a doorbell doesn't seem like a threat to me personally. So if his angle is what you thought? You thought he was gonna ring your bell and then rob you, fam? Wouldn't he have just climbed through the window? Like, I'm not sure why he felt like a shot was his first, course of action. Again, the end results usually are, fatal. So we just want to pray and, send our prayers and condolences to that young brother and his family. We will see how this plays out. Will there be an actual conviction ultimately? Personally, 84 years old, they let him go home the same night or the next day. I believe it was the same night. That man was able to shoot this brother twice. The second shot was supposed to be the kill shot, according to him. He said he wanted to make sure that he was dead. So that second shot, to me, I feel like that should be a charge, man. Personally, one shot, okay. He's 84, baby. Mentally, he might. We gonna see how this plays out in Kansas City, fam. You know. But yeah, prayers and condolences to Ralph Yarl, and his family. Here on the E.B.C.G, we don't like to hold back. We don't like to bend, and we don't like to, Basically, this is Z100, right? Z100, right? So I keep it 100 with y'all, and at the end of the day, on my last episode, you clearly heard me, you know, uh, with some maybe over the top takes in regards to the death of Bob Lee. I feel like this seems like it's an open and shut case, according to these new details that have emerged, right? So apparently Bob Lee, you know, this guy, had a sister, and it's pretty unclear what they're reporting. The witness is basically alleging that Mr. Momeni, approached Bob Lee. By the way, I feel like it's noteworthy to mention that Mr. Momeni also was a tech exec as well. He also had a tech company apparently that he was running, and basically was, in the tech space as well. So I'm not sure how much of that should be the focus here. Me personally, I see that as, a clear sign of jealousy can be involved here. I mean, listen, I don't know. They didn't even name his tech company on the news, but I don't want to speculate. And all I'm saying is this, a kitchen knife was found. A kitchen knife apparently was the murder weapon, which, I mean, damn. That man really that was like a rage killing. You took a kitchen knife and stabbed this man 3 times, one of those times in the heart. Obviously, we seen the footage of the aftermath, right? That man bled out and he was left to die. Oh, that's right. There was also additional footage that was released. And that additional footage, basically shows Bob Lee and Mr. Momeni getting into his vehicle and them basically driving off to a dark alley. Listen, fam. Realistically, fam, this doesn't really tell me much, right? We still basically have to, see what the prosecution and the DA, and listen, we gotta still see this thing play out in court. I'm sure this is gonna be a whole long drawn out. They gonna probably have this on TV. It's gonna be one of those, right? So as far as Fed Now, how do I feel about Fed Now after hearing that these new details in regards to Bob Lee? I'm still not getting it. I mean, realistically, Cash App is still on my phone. Cash App apparently has not been shut down. Well, actually, hold on. I have to re-download it. Let me download it and see. Let me look at my Cash App right now, fam, and see what's going on. So is Cash App, like, what's the deal there? Like, do they need a new owner? I mean, listen, rest in peace, Bob Lee. Amazing blueprint you have left behind, sir. And obviously, this is truly a tragedy. And I do truly feel, for his family, obviously, prayers and condolences to, I believe that man had children, a wife, a whole family, right? Well, I'm sure it's going to be devastated and grieving for, for years to come. With that being said, though, on the business side of things, right? Because we all know that, Bob Lee was an American at the end of the day, right? And Bob Lee was a businessman in America. America is business and runs on business. So I have a business question now in regards to Cash App while it's downloading on my phone right now. I'm about to check I'm trying to just see what's going on over there. What I'm saying is this: do they need a new owner? Do I or am I eligible to put my name in the hat for ownership of Cash App? Because that to me is going to be, I'm just really, really curious to see how that plays out. Obviously, he had partners and, I'm pretty sure there was a vice president. He was probably really realistically the vice president is probably going to be next in line. I'm not sure what the vice president is though. But R.I.P. to Bob Lee, man. What we basically are still looking for though is the motive, right? Because the motive is kind of unclear, right? So I mean, realistically, I'm still going with the government killed this man. Like, I mean, I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm not fully ready to apologize for that take yet. There's still no motive technically, fam. We still don't really know what happened for real. They could have just told us that story. Listen, fam, I've heard so many stories on the news, fam. At this point, fam, what do you believe? Is what I'm saying, right? I mean, when they lie in your face so many times, it's just kind of like, you know, the reports are definitely vague, though. Witness, we'll see how this plays out. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this will be a long, drawn-out trial. You know, I mean, the obvious question to ask here, though, was Bob Lee smashing down this man's sister? Let's talk about it, man. Let's get to the hot take. Was Bob Lee getting this lady whatever she likes? Was he T.I. in the video, fam? Did he pull up on this woman who I don't have her name? I believe her name is Kazar. I'm not sure if that's her first or last name. I'm gonna assume it's her first name if she's this man's sister. So Kazar Momeni. Was Kazar Momeni working at the fast food joint? And did Bob Lee pull up in the new sports, topless shit? I'm not sure what's going on, but to throw drugs in there makes this very, very, uh, easy to speculate, right? When somebody approaches a man like, fam, was my sister taking drugs? You are basically saying you are putting a responsibility in another man, you know, in regards to your sister being an adult at the end of the day. How old was Kazar? Because based on what I've seen in those photos, she looked like a grown ass woman, fam. So at this point, we need to really hear from Kazar. That's really what this comes down to. Where is Kazar, fam? Because Kazar been a little too quiet. You got the shades on. You go into the courtroom with your head down. Pick your head up. And we need you to speak right now. What happened between you and Bob Lee to get this man so enraged that he went to the kitchen for the knife? Like, he literally went, he probably had to step over shit. He probably hit his foot on something. He probably was so enraged. He probably hit his foot 20 times on his way to the kitchen. Fan. He probably didn't even feel it, though. He was so enraged. Grabbed a kitchen knife. I'm just saying, it seems very, very, over the top, just for an adult taking drugs. I mean, listen, there's a lot of that going on, fam. Realistically, I'm just saying, especially in the tech space. Oh, I thought all the tech people was doing drugs. I'm not really sure what happened here, man. We will be following this though and keeping an eye on this. Let's move along, man. Let's move along. Let's get to, like I said, man. I really didn't want to, come on here and be too serious on this episode. It's fight week. It's 420. It's really just not the time to be so serious. But unfortunately, the way the world is set up right now, and the way things is kind of currently going, it just seems like we're not gonna have a week off of just like tragedy. It is the playoff season. The playoffs are upon us, and although personally I've checked out of this year's NBA playoffs, my guy Kyrie, my guy Kyrie went home early. He didn't even make it to the play-in, fam. Do you understand how, bro? As you can clearly see, I'm still healing from the whole Dallas debacle. The Mavs and Mav Nots, fam. I'm willing to bet my whole entire life savings that Kyrie Irving would not be a Dallas Maverick next season. I keep seeing these reports. They talking about, Mark Cuban is really starting to apply some pressure for that offseason, fam. Kyrie will be a Phoenix Sun next season. Speaking of the Phoenix Suns, they just won. They just tied this series with LA. I'm gonna look at the highlights or whatever the case may be, and I still have my league pass, which is crazy. Because I'm literally not watching any games, man. Why am I still allowing $20 to be auto deducted from my account? You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not gonna hold you. I definitely was just watching the Shaq and the Fool. They got some heat on there though. They do, low key. If you got, I mean, 2 hours to waste, you know what I'm saying? And watch Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck throw mud at each other. And listen, I'm very observant, and I just do feel like it's interesting that I don't know, man. Kenny, Chuck, Shaq. I feel like out of all of the journalists and all of the broadcasters, I'm losing my whole. But hold on, let me take a sip of that Essentia. And the bottle, the design, the technology. This is non-BPA plastic. Okay, do your Googles. BPA is a chemical that is very harmful to the human anatomy. Essentia, they going out their way to, basically just make it a lot more safe to, drink water. And I feel like that is very important. I feel like that's important for these players as well during this playoffs. We got to stay hydrated. KD got to stay hydrated. You know, Draymond, he gonna have some time to hydrate while he's currently on a little vacation right now. What's up with Draymond, fam? Because realistically, man, like I said, it's unavoidable. The Draymond headlines, like you can literally be on vacation somewhere with no TV, fam, and somehow, some way, a Draymond Green, just something outlandish, it's gonna get to you somehow, fam. Every playoffs with him. So what's going on, man? He jumped up and he kicked, fam. I know it's fight week and all that, but fam, jumping up 5 feet in the air to mud hole stomp Domantas Sabonis is crazy, fam. Now, realistically, the situation is really, the man definitely grabbed his ankle. And honestly, if we being honest, this might be low key some racial. This might be racial here. Why is it that Draymond got suspended? And let's talk about it. Now, see, I got a whole nother topic for y'all that I even planned, fam. So you trying to tell me that Draymond Green, your reputation precedes you, man? You know what it is? He's done this so many times, and he's always, it's kind of like when you get this reputation, and hey, I was there, it's kind of like now that's just who you are, and it doesn't help when you know what I'm saying, you continue to fight players and punch people in the, I mean, fam, you just came off you started off this season with violence. You gonna end the season with violence too, fam? We thought you was a changed man. You got the grades in your beard now. It's time for Draymond Green to embrace his veteran role and truly just commit to being, the team vet that the Golden State Warriors so desperately need right now. I mean, Andre Iguodala. I mean, realistically, fam, he might have to just come out and retire. Did he retire? The Golden State Warriors are in dire need of veteran leadership, fam. And realistically, Draymond Green is the perfect candidate. You would figure with all of his IQ, all of his skills, at his position. And at the end of the day, not really a big fan of his game. I'm not necessarily, I recognize the talent, and at the end of the day, Draymond Green is definitely talented. Look, Stephen A. talking about this shit right now. Hold on, let me see what's going on. On top, in addition to his 3 suspensions, he's had to pay $1.26 million in fines. We understand that Draymond Green has a history. I'll get into that in a second. That's so crazy. This is a reoccurring theme with me, and you're seeing it in real time. Where I can literally fam, I'm literally like producing all of these shows on ESPN, fam. We gonna get into that on a later episode, fam. I can't tell you the amount of times I've interview Sabonis, come back to the league office, they give them the information, and then Joe Dumars supposedly is the one that's making the decision. I want to hear that. And Adam Silver's in on this too. And that's fine, you're the commissioner. My issue is you see what Sabonis has done. Interesting. So basically what they're talking about right now in the headline here is Stephen A. Smith is surprised that Draymond Green was suspended. And I literally was I promise you I didn't plan this. This was 2 hours ago. And I was jokingly getting ready to say, it does feel a little racial, but now that I'm seeing this, now I feel like, man, maybe I might be on to something here. I just feel like, yeah, why not suspend both of the players? I feel like the first act of violence, if that's what you want to call it, was committed by Sabonis when he grabbed Draymond Green's whole leg, fam. He could have, like, realistically, fam. I watched the UFC, you know. That was literally like he could have broke Draymond. He could have ended Draymond Green's career, fam. If he would have applied pressure on his calf, all he had to do was twist and pull. And the amount of distance, and Draymond Green jumped so high, he could have literally pulled his leg out of the socket, fam. And they suspended him. I might be rolling with Draymond on this one. Hold on, I'm starting to see it differently now. Hold on, man. Stephen A. got me looking at it a little differently. And considering how great Sacramento has looked in the series and how great they have looked all season, for us to be sitting here talking, it's gonna be a hell of a series. You know what? I might just need to tap in, man. If they doing all this, players they fighting and getting suspended. This is looking like the old NBA a little bit. That's the one thing I'll give Draymond though. He keep it old NBA, fam. He's probably like the last player left, fam, that's keeping that energy alive, realistically, fam. Him and Westbrook. I might throw Kawhi in there. When Kawhi won it, I wonder who's gonna actually win a ring this. I really don't. I feel like it's really a toss up this season, personally. I'm going for the Celtics. That's kind of like you know, my guys, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm still a little salty over that whole Kyrie situation. I just feel like, man, if they would have just gave it 2 more seasons, man. I mean, listen, man. It's kind of hard to avoid this one right here. As a podder, as a podcaster now, I'm currently, basically, I'm in that space, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is everything and all things podcast related, it comes across my desk. We got Rory Amal versus the JBP. Let's get to it, fam. We all know the history there. We've seen it play out. We kind of know what time it is, right? We don't need to really rehash any of the old wars. We kind of want to bring it up to date and get up to speed with what's going on currently. And what's going on currently is basically, a list came out, shout out to Complex, they put out a list, of the top 20 or top 25, podcasts, covering basically hip hop journalism or hip hop journalists, I believe was the term that they used, right? Now, at the end of the day, I want to stay on topic. The E.B.C.G wasn't on the list, but you know what? That's for a whole nother episode, right? Because best believe we will get to that on a later date. They put Joe Budden at number 1, and realistically, it's no shade there. I do truly believe that, as far as podcasts, right? And everything that podcasts entail, and I don't think that there's any argument that Joe Budden is in the number 1 spot there. We literally watched this man create the blueprint for not just because he didn't start podcasts, right? Obviously, right? We had Combat Zach, salute and rest in peace. Get ready for combat. But let's get back to these pod wars. So the list came out. Joe Budden was put at number 1. Rory and Maul, responded on their platform, on their podcast, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm not really even sure what's going on right now, for real. I feel like, based on the energy that they gave when they responded to the list, I just feel like, Joe Budden basically replied to something that I felt like they basically restarted, because at the end of the day, they kind of been going back and forth. It kind of got quiet, and I thought everybody was cool. I'm going back and forth like ping pong. I'm watching Rory and Maul on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really, they drop on Thursday and Friday or something crazy. Like, they going crazy over there with the content, fam. I don't even know when they drop anymore. They just own the algorithm, right? I just see the beard and the hat everywhere, right? Shout out to Rory and Maul. They cooking right now, right? And obviously Joe Budden is cooking. You got Ish over there. You got Melissa Ford over there now. Shout out to Melissa Ford. Shout out to Queen Flip. They definitely turned the episodes up a notch. Just a notch. Shout out to Ice and Ish. Shout out to Parks, the engineer. Can't forget the engineer. Because at the end of the day, realistically, Parks is probably really like... Parks is clearly the MVP when it comes to that whole JVP. Because, you know, I mean, listen, we ain't not see him on one episode for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? This man literally had them in his house at a certain point. They was in the kitchen potting, right? Wires all over them. There's no denial about the work that's being put in, right? So that's why when it comes to the list, I just felt like personally, it really shouldn't have been no issue. Cool. So Rory and Moore took a little jab. Nigga Joe weaved it. He took a little jab back and, you know, then it kind of got a little, you know, it kind of stopped feeling like a war a little bit. I'm not gonna hold you, man. It started to kind of feel like basically like a one-sided war for real. It kind of felt like, you know, the kids that came to the park with their new outfit on and thought they was them and got sent home by the kids that was really them. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, fam, if you take a jab at somebody, right? And this is not specific to podcasting. This is just in general, right? If I say something slick, right, and this is definitely something that I deal with on an everyday basis, right? Because I'm very observant, very attentive. You might do some slick shit. You feel me? And I might have heard that loud and clear. I saw that, matter of fact. I saw that whole play. I might not say nothing right away, fam. 9 times out of 10, I'll say something right away. But realistically, fam, in the game of life, you must play chess. And realistically, the smart chess move is to kind of like tuck it, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of hit them back when it hurts the most. And that's kind of what happened here. Joe responded, and man, he responded. He was over there talking about, I mean, you know, the microphones, how, you know, so basically, like I said, man, I'm a student, right? I'm a student of the game. I watch, I observe. The interesting thing about him bringing up the whole microphone thing, right? Because I'm not going to hold you. It was funny. It was, man. And shout out to Rory, because Rory watches my stories, fam. Realistically, fam, he might not watch another one of my stories again when I drop this episode. Because I'm still tagging you in the stories, fam. I'm not hiding from it. I'm not going to hide from it. It's Pod Wars, dog. You took a jab and you got tagged, dog. Like, that's all that happened. Y'all holding the mics, and I'm not going to sit here and, realistically, fam, I'm the last person to critique someone's, you know, podcast set. Because, you know, realistically, fam, if I did the visual podcast right now, Rory and Maul got me smoked right now, right? Realistically, that's an amazing setup that they have. It just kind of looks less amazing when somebody with a better set says that it's not amazing, fam. And I mean, he pointed out the whole microphone thing. Personally, I noticed that myself. Like I said, I'm a student, right? It does kind of just feel a little outdated. Cool, right? The quality's still there, you know, and realistically, that's all that matters, you know, when it comes to podcasting, because this is all about talking, realistically, right? Funny competition at the end of the day, man. Rory and Maul, you know, I'm not really sure if there's going to be another. I doubt that this shouldn't really be any more responses at this point. I mean, Joe went over there and kind of I mean, you know, that's kind of what the comments were saying. That's not what I'm saying. This is what the comments were saying. Live in your area. About to cause massive stereo. Turn up the stereo. This ain't a radio. Cause everybody can't dance. Everybody can't. That's the hook. Look. Episode 27. Y'all already know what I'm repping. I ain't no repping, but I be talking on this shit like this is that seven spiritual. That's why I said it. Say it again, and it's only that I read it. When I look at my docket, you know I'm about to dead it. All this shit y'all talking about, ain't nobody ever said it. I don't even gotta write it down. I'm like the Jay-Z of podcast now. What's up? Turn me up loud. I got the sound to make him up, but this turned down. I wanna hear that shit. Cause y'all don't be talking about nothing. Realistically, most of y'all niggas be frontin'. Most of y'all niggas be snitching. Most of y'all niggas is bitches. So these bitches be with bitches. Look, I mean, I guess we gotta just move on now to the next topic on my docket. You know, hold on, man. Let me just get right, cause y'all know it's 420 and all that. So I'm basically so reluctant and hesitant to get to this right here, just for the simple fact that y'all gotta understand, right? Let me just spit it out here. I watched the Monique special on Netflix. I watched it. I did. You know, on my previous episode, I kind of was caught off guard, you know, when I read an article, you know, that the special was out at that point. I wasn't aware that it was out, right? So when I clicked and I seen the headline that I seen, I basically kind of was taken back with the headline, just for the simple fact that not because the headline was the headline, but because the headline was the headline as it pertained to a Netflix special that was supposed to be a comedy. Fam, where was the comedy, Monique? Now, this is the thing. I'm not going to sit here and do that. I'm not going to come on here and... Because realistically, I seen a couple of the reviews before I went and watched it myself. I said, you know what? I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I was never that guy, and I never will be that guy. I'm not following the crowd, right? So if I see a couple people over there hating or whatever the case may be, that's probably just y'all over there hating. And realistically, birds of a feather flock together. So that's probably why y'all over there together hating. Basically, what I'm saying is this: I watched the special and it was trash, fam. The special was trash. It was trash. Now, this is the thing, right? Again, I'm not the guy, and it was so important for me to prefix it with that little soliloquy, just for the simple fact that even though I'm not that guy, unfortunately, I'm that guy as it pertains to this special, because there was nothing special about this comedy. Now, this is the thing. I love Monique. I'm always going to have love for Monique as a comic. I feel like she's one of the greatest, you know, not even female, one of the greatest performers, stand-up comics that we've ever seen, man. Realistically, she was a trailblazer. Now, we all know what Monique was doing during her heyday, you feel me? Monique was the first of her kind on that stage for a female to be, I mean, realistically overweight. And she didn't hide the fact that she was overweight, right? Obviously, that was something that she was very, very, you know, she wore that basically like a badge of honor and shit, right? She made being fat, like I'm not gonna say sexy, right? Because that would be, I'm not looking at Monique in that way, right? I'm only judging her comedy. But she basically made it a badge of honor. She was basically the Lizzo of stand-up comedy. She was the Lizzo before Lizzo, fam, is what I'm saying. And we all see what Lizzo's impact is, you know, on women and, you know, just that community. You know, I'm respectfully, of course. I'm saying she was the Lizzo of her time, of, you know, for stand-up comics, for women, you know, who look the same way that she did, to feel like they can still stand on a stage. Understand that standing on a stage and performing anything is probably one of the hardest things anybody can do, right? So for her to be able to do it in the way that she did, now I'm beating around the bush here a little bit. I say all that to say this: I was always a fan of Monique, and I always loved Monique. Everything, all of her shows, the Parkers. I thought the Parkers, they took it off the air way too early. I feel like that should definitely still be on the air in some way, shape, or form. They definitely could have did a spinoff. I feel like she could have got her own show, all types of things, right? And she eventually did get her own late night talk show, right? Which I didn't really, you know, I just kind of wasn't really, I couldn't stay up that late. It was kind of like I had two jobs at the time. It was just, I never could catch it enough, right? But let's get back to the special, man. When she first came out and she, obviously there was a whole boycott against Netflix. And, I'm not going to hold you. I was probably definitely one of her main soldiers in the front line, fam. From a distance, obviously. I don't know Monique personally, right? But I'm not going to hold you, man. Like I said, I always loved and adored Monique and admired her talent, man. And I just felt like once I, kind of heard basically what she was going through as far as negotiations and listen, man, numbers was getting thrown out and it just sounded crazy to me, right? And I felt like I agreed with what she was basically saying at the time as far as she wasn't being valued correctly, right? I just feel like based on her career and, what she's done in her work and her body of work, I mean, she was in a movie. Didn't they, like, how many box office records did Precious break, fam? Like, Precious became a cultural phenomenon. She was a star in that movie, and I just felt like, Amy Schumer got the 11 mil, at the time. A couple of other comedians, who were pretty, had some pretty sturdy resumes as well. But at the end of the day, they not Monique, right? There is no Amy. What Amy Schumer joke can anybody reference realistically outside of her core fan base, fam? And by core fan base, I'm talking about Kansas City, Missouri. With that same dude. Anyway, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. They tried to violate Monique, fam, and I wasn't going for it. I wasn't going for it, so yeah. I had to turn up. I had to turn up for Monique. I did a couple of videos, the whole shit. I'm in the same chair right now. I was doing them videos in. Facts. And I'm on that same chair right now to tell you that she fought and got what she was asking for, which was the Netflix special, and I watched it. I couldn't wait to watch it. I was so happy when I seen the headline. I was a little taken back by, the other headline I seen, right? Which we'll get to that, I will give y'all a review at some point. I feel like I'm beating around the bush, right? I'm so team Monique, man, but I just gotta keep it 100, man. I just gotta keep it 100, dog. I personally just wasn't expecting to basically. I just feel like I'm not sure if she went up there and winged the whole special. I'm not sure if she wrote a joke, fam. So like the first 15 minutes, right? Let's just get into some of the, what was going on up there, what was being said up there, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, she was up there being. Now Monique has always had a reputation of kind of being self-degrading, right? To say the least, right? She'll call herself a fat bitch. She'll call her husband a fat. Her boyfriend, whoever she at the time, she's very, very animated with, her personal life, right? And we know she doesn't hold back. But fam, even me, myself, Willmatic TV, host of the E.B.C.G podcast. This is episode 27, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Because episode 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is definitely on the way. And infinity, right? This is here to stay. It's basically what I'm trying to say, right? Let's get back to the special. It wasn't so special. She's up there. She started it off with, let me see if I can remember this. She was basically in special ed, right? She started it off with how special she was in school, and I'm not sure if she was joking or not, fam, because like I said, it didn't really seem like she wrote any of this stuff. She kind of was like just kind of, circling around this whole like idea that she was special, and she found out her mom can't read. Her mom was special, and her mom was a bitch, and she was a bitch. Then her mom was special again, fam. She was just going crazy on herself and her mom. She mentioned some other things later on. Eventually, after she spent 25 minutes talking about how she was a special bitch, Respectfully, I'm just quoting what she said. This is the queen, Monique. I have nothing but obviously, like I just said, nothing but love and respect for Monique, right? I'm just giving y'all my review of what she went up there and did, right? This is what she was saying, and this is kind of like, all right, I was cringing. I had to pause it a few times. I couldn't even get through it. There was just so many things wrong with her setups, her deliveries, her I just didn't feel like she, like I said, man, she didn't really craft this thing into what I believed was going to be a classic special, man. Like I said, I just feel like she had such an opportunity. What an opportunity you had to come out here and hit a home run out of the fucking park. I mean, listen, all you did was have the whole goddamn Black Hollywood against you. Everybody was mad at Monique at one point. Oprah, Tyler Perry. They had the white guy from Power was mad. What's the not from Power? He just looked like the guy from Power. Pardon me. I always mix those two whites up. It's the guy from Power, and then it's the other. Y'all know who I'm talking about, fam. He's another comedian apparently. Realistically, fam, he's another one. Tell me one joke. He was mad. Everybody was mad. So what a perfect opportunity you had to come out and basically show everybody like, yo, she named the special I Am Monique, or My Name is Monique, right? So the titling of it made me kind of even feel like, ooh, she about to come out here and really show who she really, like what she really do up here. I didn't feel like I seen that, man. I feel like that might have been one of the worst specials or worst comedy specials I've ever seen personally. I feel like I literally could have went on that stage out of bed, man, and improv something. And I mean, listen, man, that it was just not a vibe. There were moments, and there were moments. I don't want to do that. The whole thing wasn't completely just bad, right? It was just so many bad before the moments that you kind of almost forget about the moments. But there were a few moments where Monique was kind of looking like vintage Monique and shit, right? She had a couple of, she got a chuckle or two out of me. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I ain't laugh at all. I'm not one of those people. It's not very hard for me to laugh either, by the way. Which is why I have to be so honest, man. I barely laughed during this thing. Like all I do is laugh. I laugh for no reason. I laugh when shit is not funny. I couldn't laugh for this. I couldn't laugh for this. Not much, man. Not very, very, a little disappointed, but it is what it is, man. Hopefully, this ain't the last we see of Monique. And, I'm kind of not really sure, like, what the future is for Monique as it pertains to stand-up comedy, man. Because now, like, it's like now, if she went and tried to do that boycott thing again, now, at this point, with this being her last point of reference on stage, I'm with Netflix, man. Like, I mean, I can't even lie, dog. I'm rolling with Netflix. I bought Netflix. She made me buy Netflix, man. You boycotted. You made me boycott them. Now you made me buy them. Now I bought Netflix back, and you ain't even go up there and deliver. I'm riding with Netflix if you boycott again, Monique. Respectfully. She was saying a lot of weird shit too, like, and then she was saying like retarded and stuff. It's like she was borderline, and then even at a certain point, I had to even ask myself, like, is she up here just trying to bomb on purpose? Because that was literally what it started to look like. Like, she was just bombing. Then it even started to look like the crowd was just laughing at her. Like, it was just, I'm not, listen, you get a chance, you take the time to go watch the special for yourself. Maybe this is just my take on it, right? But everybody can't go, though. Shout out to Monique, though. And hopefully, like I said, we get another. Maybe that was just her way of saying, you know what, man, fuck Netflix. Because realistically, that should have gave me the goddamn bag when I asked for it the first time. I'm Monique, nigga. Because she kind of was, there was moments, like I said, man. Like I said, there was some moments where she was kind of, it felt like she was like purposely trying to hold back from being funny. Like, I don't know how else to say it, bro. It's kind of weird. And then even when it felt like she was about to get funny, she would kind of like just go completely left with it and then say something crazy. Then also, obviously there was a whole nother thing up there that happened. She went up there and basically revealed that she was, queer. She had some, she told a, real personal story about, I'm not sure why this is what I'm saying, man. This is it right here. This is the moment right here when me and you two part ways, fam. Because again, out of all of the, I'm just gonna go to Shimmy Yaya. Let me get that ODB, please. Bro, they put the GTA instrumental on while I was talking. Bro, why is that even in this, bro? It's just not. That's just technically though. I see what they did. That is like some West Coast shit, right? On the low. That might be a Dr. Dre sample or some shit. But I don't want to hear that right now. Let's get back to Monique. Yeah. I'm not sure what the play was, man, or if there was even a play in play. Was there a play there? Was she trying to? Was this a way for her to kind of just get the money and basically not work and not deliver? Did she tuck the real special? Maybe she got another special coming up. Like I said, on another platform. We're gonna be keeping an eye to see if Monique pop out with another special anytime soon in 2023. Man, that was rough and rugged. And you know what, man? On that note right there, speaking of rough and rugged, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually 1:11 p.m. on the dot right now. I feel like that's very, very appropriate. I feel like that's very, very appropriate just for the simple fact that, the universe has spoken. The universe has spoken. The boxing gods, in particular, have spoken. And somehow, some way, we are 4 days away. 4 days away from one of the most epic, one of the most monumental. This damn near might be this is like Pacquiao Mayweather when we were supposed to get it. That's what this is right here. Now, listen, this is the thing. Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. April 22nd is going down, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm not even sure, do I still have a window to, fly out to Vegas? Are there still seats available, fam? Because realistically, bro, I just told them dudes at my job to kick rocks today and yesterday, realistically. So I'm not even really sure. I could take a couple days off, is what I'm saying. I'm kind of running this shit right now, is basically what I'm saying. And them niggas gonna hear this, because them niggas is weird as fuck. And all these niggas secretly watch my social media. I'm not f***ing your fam. Fall back. Before we get into any predictions or anything like that, let's just talk about the build-up. Let's just talk about the hype, because y'all know I'm all about the hype. I'm all about the fight hype. I'm all about the build-up, and I'm not gonna hold you. This has been building up and brewing for quite some time now. We got to give a lot of credit. We got to give credit to, both fighters and both, of their respective teams, obviously, But realistically, fam, I'm not sure if we get this fight this Saturday if it wasn't for Ryan Garcia, And at the end of the day, obviously Tank is Tank, right? And at this point, I ain't ready to give him the face of boxing just yet, though. You gotta go in there. You still got 4 days to become the face of boxing, fam, as far as I'm concerned, right? Because if Tank goes in there, I don't want to just see a win either. I don't want to see a decision. I don't want to see a disqualification. I don't want to see no controversy. This fight has to end by a knockout, fam, on either side. And I feel like that's pretty much what we're going to get, stylistically, this is definitely a very, very intriguing fight. Ryan Garcia is probably the fastest, fighter that we are going to see Tank in the ring with, right? Up until this point. Whereas with Tank, is probably going to be the hardest puncher that Ryan Garcia has been in the ring with at this point. So this is what makes this even that much more intriguing. These are both undefeated fighters. I'm going to turn this down a notch. I am. I know. I don't really got the mic. Chill. I'm on it, Jack. Level me up. Level me right about there. So let's get back to So stylistically, it's a very intriguing fight. Now as far as me, like I said, I'm all about the fight hype. I definitely have been watching, that both of the fighters are, making their rounds in the media, doing different sit down interviews. And I'm not gonna hold you, man. up until like 2 or 3 days ago, I was giving Ryan Garcia the super edge. I'm not gonna hold you. Pause. Pause. He had the edge for the win because I just felt like, I don't know, man. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I read body language, and like I said, all of these things play a factor when it comes to a fight. And I don't know, man. When I seen those two initial press conferences that they did, and the first one was kind of like, it was kind of, I ain't really get nothing. I ain't really get much from the first one, other than both fighters seem to look like they're ready to fight. Now that second press conference, I got a whole different, basically, energy, right? And I seen Tank up there kind of losing his temper. He was up there kind of losing his composure. Ryan looked like he was way more composed and kind of like had a response for everything Tank was saying. Now, to me, that's usually a sign of a fighter being in another fighter's head, right? And that's never usually a good sign going into a fight. Like I said, up until 2 or 3 days ago, it does seem like Tank has now found his composure. He definitely did a couple of more sit-down interviews. And listen, man, ain't nothing left to happen but for these two guys to get in that ring and fight. I can't wait to see it. I'm still like in the air with. Speaking of fighting, by the way, are we gonna ever see Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence, fam? Like, we gonna get back to Ryan and Tank, but respectfully, what's the situation? What's the contract, fam? Do I need to go and levy these contracts? Do I need to go and be the negotiator for the contracts for this fight to happen, fam? Because realistically, we getting good fights right now, dog. We about to get Tank and Ryan. So it's kind of like, dog, like the window for y'all fight is kind of getting smaller and smaller if we continue to see these fights. And they gonna run this back. They gonna run it back. So Tank and Ryan 2 is definitely gonna be next year. You know what I'm saying? And in the Barclays Center or something crazy. If Tank win this fight, they might fight in Baltimore. I don't know, man. At this point, they might fight in goddamn on Tank block, on his old block and shit that he used to trap on, fam. I don't know, bro. That would be kind of like crazy though if they fought like in Baltimore. Whoever win this fight should get home court advantage for the next fight. Is all I'm saying. Especially if it's a knockout. I mean, it's just like, I feel like, let's get back to the stylistics of the fight, man. Ryan Garcia is super, super fast. I know there's some flack, about the fact that he's, some type of TikToker. I don't know I don't listen. I don't have TikTok on my phone. I'm not in tune with the TikTok space in the world and what's going on, what's being posted. I don't have that algorithm. So if he on TikTok cooking and going viral or whatever he's doing over there, kudos to him at the end of the day for playing the game. TikTok ain't nothing but a part of the game, right? But I'm not going to sit here and take that and say, oh, because he's a TikToker doing TikTok videos that he can't fight. He's undefeated, fam. And he got to this point for a reason. At the end of the day, man, like I said, he paid his dues. And he's getting ready to fight on Saturday. I'm tuned in. There's nothing that can really be said at this point to convince me otherwise, Now, the keys to victory. Let's get to some keys to victory here because, I'm not really a betting man. I don't play with my money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just play with my money. I'm not about to just be going on an app every time. Like, now for this right here, I might just be a betting man on this one right here because I'm not gonna hold you. I think I know exactly how this fight is gonna play out. And realistically, fam, there have been too many other instances where I've predicted things and I ain't even bet, and I feel like I probably could have had $1 million right now, right? So maybe I need to start looking into that a little bit more. I definitely predict that I can't even just spit it out though. Who you got? I think Ryan got that. I think Ryan's gonna win this fight. I think Ryan Garcia. If Gervonta Tank Davis, listen to me and hear me closely, because once again, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. This is my bold, honest prediction. If this fight goes past 6 rounds, Gervonta Tank Davis has no chance of winning this fight. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing. We already know that Gervonta Davis has knockout, outstanding punching power. We've seen it displayed in too many fights. We've even seen him knock out a guy in the late, what was that, in round 12 of a fight? He knocked some dude out in the last round or something crazy, fam. Caught a couple of dudes. His counter is real mean, and that's usually where he catch a lot of fighters. This is why I say that Ryan has the edge. Ryan Garcia is not really a brawler, fam. He ain't in there trying to just knock out every fighter. He ain't in there just throwing haymakers. He's very, very calculated, very, very fast, and has the reach advantage over Tank in this fight. So, in other words, if Gervonta Tank Davis, as powerful as he is, you ain't got the reach, fam. You're going to have to get real close. You're going to have to come up on in the inside, and that's the only way he's going to be able to really land a significant shot. We ain't never seen him knock nobody out with a straight right. It's usually either a counter left or some type of uppercut, right? Ryan Garcia, the key to victory for this fight is the jab of Ryan Garcia. Remember it, document it, and know it. I said it. If Ryan Garcia can figure out a way to keep his jab sharp and snappy for 6 rounds. I say 6 rounds, fam. Realistically, he might need to have to, condition that arm a little bit more in this training camp. He might have to have that jab going crazy for that whole fight, dog. If he can utilize his jab as fast as he is to distract Tank enough, to where he can set up that body shot that he has. Listen. I don't know, man. I don't know. We've seen Tank get hit a lot. And that's the other thing. Ain't like Tank is the best defender we've seen, right? So it's a real intriguing fight, man. I say all that to say this. I will definitely be tuned in. This episode will definitely be out way before then. Because I tell you this right now, fam. I will put this shit out unedited, fam. If that's what I gotta do. And that fight is this Saturday. This is episode 27, and this episode has concluded. Yeah, we're gonna end it on Tank and Ryan. Fight week is upon us, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, all-inclusive podcast, children and babies, everybody can't go. Prayers for Jamie Foxx. I definitely wanted to throw that in there. Jamie Foxx is currently going through some type of medical, confliction, and we definitely want to acknowledge the fact that Jamie Foxx is, one of our greats. We were just talking about, stand-up comedy or just comedy in general. You don't get much more talented than Jamie Foxx, man. And, everything that he's done on the screen over the years, we definitely want to just say prayers and condolences and a speedy recovery to the Fox, man. You know what I'm saying? Not sure what's going on, but push through. Keep your head on the motherfucking swivel, man, because kidnappings is up. They definitely out here snatching people up. They just released a couple in Haiti. They snatching up couples and shit on retreats and shit. They in Mexico wilding. There was some other. I didn't really want to even talk about this, but realistically, fam, they definitely kidnapped. I believe it was like a family of brothers and sisters, and 2 of the brothers were killed. Like, listen, man, they out here snatching shit up, dog. Keep your head on the swivel. Keep your motherfucking head on the swivel. You know what I'm saying? I'm avoiding all smoke shops this summer. I'm gonna end it on that right there. They released some footage of some type of incident that occurred in a smoke shop. This psychopath with a gun, basically killed this man in there for no reason. Avoid all the smoke shops, dog. Take the smoke shops down, because realistically, we didn't need no smoke shops, fam. All we needed was the weed to be legal. That was all we really asked for, dog. Y'all doing a little bit too much with these smoke shops. Like y'all already had corner stores on every corner, right? And personally, I'm starting to get the hang of this. This is a new thing that I'm starting to do, where I kind of come on and hit y'all with my most controversial takes at the end of the pod, right? Just when you thought it was safe. But I have a theory about these corner stores, fam. And at the end of the day, I might have to hold this for a whole nother episode, right? Because I really want to do a documentary, or if not a documentary, a whole film about just, the relationship between, the residents in the community and, these individuals in these corner stores, fam. Now, it varies. And at the end of the day, I've done enough personal research. I've done enough, eyewitness reporting with my own eyes and my own ears is what I'm saying. I've witnessed some things that just are very questionable, right? And I'm starting to question if these niggas is really the feds for real, right? Now, we're not going to act like, what I'm saying, they ain't play a part in our slave trade and shit. Like, we're not going to act like these motherfucking hands are just completely clean, fam. Just because you got all of the chips, all of the candy, and all of the goddamn cold cuts, fam, it doesn't mean that I'm about to just come in here with my guard down. Like I said, keep your head on a swivel. And that includes even when you go into the corner store to get a sandwich, fam. Because at the end of the day, who can you trust? Who can you trust? Nah, I'm not going to do that to y'all. Like I said, man, we want to end this on positivity. Essentia water is the best water in the world. We're going to end it with an ad. Overachieving H2O, purest, cleanest quality. What makes Essentia better? Well, let me tell you. Our proprietary ionization process turns water from any source into supercharged, ionized, alkaline. They're doing a lot at Essentia, clearly. Go ahead and grab you a case of Essentia water. Drink some water. You know what I'm saying? Go outside today. Ride a bike. Jog. Run. Be at one with the universe. Turn the TV off. Put your phones down. They are breaking news every hour on the hour to make sure that every damn hair in your head is gray by the end of the day, fam. You gotta live life, man. You gotta live life. You gotta live life. And you gotta watch that fight. And I will definitely be watching it. Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude this episode. I appreciate you for joining me this week. I ain't gonna hold you. I know I'm gonna come back with the fight review, right? Because, I'm sure this is, man. I don't know, man. What if Javante just knocked this nigga over the ropes, though? Because that's also a possibility, right? I don't want to sit here and lie, because realistically, I've doubted Tank before, and he came out with, I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, man. WILLMATIC. It is 420 week as well. Everybody smoke safely. Smoke safely, fam. Get the goddamn quality check machine. Pay the extra little $50. Do it. Do that. Hey, you gotta come out of pocket sometimes to make sure that shit is quality in your life. Everybody's so focused on quantity. Like, you got a pound of weed, but your shit is full with poison, fam. You got damn K2. You got goddamn what's this other shit that's going around? Fentanyl. Oh my goodness, man. R.I.P. Coolio, man. Rest in power, Coolio. Be safe, man. This 420, y'all, man. Know what you smoking, and roll what you token. Willmatic TV, E.B.C.G, episode 27. It is a wrap. Until the next time, to the next round. Peace to humanity, peace to you and me. Matic. Bitch.